Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Necromaniacs Horror Podcast. How's it going, Jeff?
It's going well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's end of the summer, starting to feel like fall out there. So I'm, feeling excited about that.
I am excited about that. October's right around the corner. I'm back in New England. I haven't had a New England autumn in God, I don't know how long. It's been forever since I've been on the East Coast in the fall.
Yeah. Before we get going, let's give a shout out to everyone. We do it at different times of the show, but I figure before we get too far
Yeah,
along, we'll change the format a little bit here. So if you're listening to this, undoubtedly, you're a fan of the other Horsemen of the Podcasting Apocalypse shows out there. So we're just going to give a rundown of everybody. Kicking things off every other Monday, we've got Brandon Legion's Horror Wolf 666. And Brandon and I are doing a little mini series called The Black Lodge, where every other month we switch who hosts the episode and we dive into the work of David Lynch's Twin Peaks, which is I don't know. It just seems like I got to a point maybe with David's passing. I felt like it was time to kind of, revisit all that stuff.
absolutely.
Yeah. Up next on Tuesday, we got Jackie Smith's Into the Necrosphere, the greatest extreme music podcast in the land. Wednesday, we've got two podcasts. We've got Everything Went Black, but we also have Iblis Manifestations, brought to you by Cheyenne of the band Trivax. Thursday, we've got another day of two podcasts, as well as being Necro Thursday, in which you get to listen to the Necromaniacs Horror Podcast. We also have day one of Soul Knox, brought to you by Carl Hikera. Friday, Spitball Media comes at us, and Saturday is finally a day off. So go out, get yourself a pumpkin latte because we're getting into that season. Because on Sunday, Soul Knox comes back for day two. And right now, we're getting deeply into the Darkness Weaves collaboration that Carl and I are doing. And we're just wrapping up Darkness Weaves, the last Kane novel. But we have also found a bunch of other Kane short stories that we're going to be getting into. So it's been a lot of fun doing those things. Carl Edward Wagner is the author of Kane, and he's also kind of not necessarily a household name in the horror and weird fiction, sword and sorcery world. And that's it. That's a full week of content for everybody.
Man, a lot. It feels like it's growing every week. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
man. Yeah,
Right on.
yeah.
So, Mike, what have you been up to? I feel like we haven't talked in a little while.
Just we shot a video for a Tombs video for a song on the upcoming record that's coming out
It
in a couple
is
weeks from now.
is that the song that was just released?
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not that one. There's a song called Nightland, which is going to be released in conjunction with this video the week leading up to the release of the album in October. So it's been a collaborative effort, man. We've got a bunch of different people who shot footage for it. Our friend Sarah Timms is also featured in the video.
Oh, great.
Yeah, yeah. Matt Prizzo of a fellow horseman is he shot some footage and he's also going to be doing the edits. And of course, our good friend Mike G from the band Replicant and Putrescension shot a bunch of video of us performing, like some performance video of the band. So it's been like a lot of cooks in this kitchen, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah.
You know, I never really had the experience of making a music video. I mean, my old band, ISIS, we had videos, but we were never in any of them. So I don't even really know what that experience is like.
It could be fun or it could be a real drag. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
I mean, Toombs has done a lot of videos, and it's definitely weird doing like the performance stuff, and sometimes that could be weird. I mean, usually we're just actually play. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. That's what I was
Yeah,
going to ask.
yeah. There have been times where we haven't played. We've been, unplugged and pretending like we're playing, and that sucks.
Oh
That's
man.
weird.
Do you have a microphone in front of you still, or are you just sort of like singing into the air?
This time around, there was no microphone, but I was singing though.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
So that's like it's different, but also it's not like I'm just lip syncing the words or something, that would be really weird.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's something that probably you feel a little self-conscious about, and then the more you get into the groove, you just stop thinking about it, like an
Yeah.
orgy.
And like, but there's no acting or anything like that. I don't have like a cape or anything like that, or no sword fights or no, it's just no dragons, that kind of
Ah,
thing.
maybe for the next one.
Maybe, but yeah, that was you know, took up some of my time, an evening of time, but other than that, it's just, I'm fucking living life, man, working, doing my thing here.
Right on. Have you checked anything out?
I have actually. Um, well, first of all, let me ask you, have you been checking out Alien Earth?
It's funny you mentioned that. I was doing some traveling last week, and I caught an episode in the room I was staying. And I gotta say, I went from having absolutely no interest in watching that to being very interested in watching it.
Yeah, dude, it's interesting, I think. It's taking I think that the alien itself, like the xenomorph,
Hmm.
I think if this thing continues to go on, that's going to take less and less of the attention of the plot, I feel like.
Right.
Like I feel
Yeah.
like this is going to develop into a completely different thing, man, which is cool, And I forgot the guy's name, and I think I said this last week, was whoever is writing and directing also was involved in the Fargo series too. And,
Oh, okay. All
and
right.
you know how Fargo is like it takes the vibe of the film but it creates a completely different world. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what I feel like Alien Earth is going to do. It's going to go along those lines. Like you'll have xenomorphs in there, but even now, it's only what, 2 or 3 episodes in. The xenomorph isn't even really the main narrative device. There's all
Mm.
this stuff going on, and there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of commentary on our culture, and just it's really interesting, I think.
Yeah, the tone of it was not what I was expecting. Like, it's kind of a weird, cold show. At least I didn't, I didn't even watch a full episode, but it was far more like it was just colder than I expected it to
Yeah,
to be. Really surprised me.
I recommend knocking whatever, however many episodes there are, taking some time over the weekend maybe and just like banging out like the 3 or 4 episodes that are available and just absorbing it.
Timothy Oliphant looks so fucking sketchy too.
He looks like it's like if Billy Idol was like an android or something.
Yeah, it's he's great, and yeah, it's always an interesting performance from that guy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but so I've been watching that. I saw it Together, which is
Oh,
blew my expectations out of the water, man. I thought that was, it's an interesting movie.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Did you watch it? You check that out?
No, I didn't even know. Did you see it in the theater? Is it streaming?
It's streaming right now as a rental, and
Mm.
yeah, we checked that out. He has like a kind of movie night thing around here, and then uh, I, I watched all the first 3 Conjuring movies and
Oh
and
boy.
both Annabelle films over the last few days.
Oh, there are three Annabelle films.
You're right, all 3 of them. Right, there's two Nun movies. So because
Yeah.
Friday the new Conjuring movie comes out, and we're going to go see it Friday night.
Now, if I remember correctly, James Wan only did the first two, and I don't think he did three, and I don't think he's doing four.
I don't really like James Wan, so that doesn't matter to me. Like I'm like whatever, and I never really saw any of these movies. I just, I was kind of like commanded to see these things by my wife. So, we've been checking this out. And then I checked out Meridian, Kiss of the Beast, which came up but with one of the listeners, one of the call-ins, and so that was fucking awesome. That movie,
Yeah,
yeah, it was
excellent.
yeah, it had a very Italian like European horror vibe to it. You know what I mean? and Pino Donaggio did the score. So that there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, great movie. It's like this kind of like uh soft core werewolf movie. There's like, it's like a Cinemax style like werewolf movie.
That's oh man, that's right up your alley.
If you catch my drift on that.
Yeah, I
So
do.
yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna have to see this.
Yeah. So that's
Um,
yeah,
wh-
that's what I've been up to, man, as far as movies go.
Real quick, what's your verdict on the Conjuring movies?
I can't say.
Understood.
All right,
Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
kind
say
of
I'm gonna say this. They're fun, okay? You know,
sure. Yeah,
like,
okay.
yeah, I enjoyed watching them, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, they're decent crowd-pleasing horror films. At least the first two. I don't really remember much of the third one.
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly. But I kind of like the Warren family, it's like I don't know, it's like you see them, they come back and it's like, yeah, they're familiar. So I know that this fourth one is going to be the final one in the series, so that's fun.
Yeah, allegedly, yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, I haven't really been checking out too much. As I said, I was traveling last week, revisiting some old spots, some old friends, and I didn't get to check out much as far as movies go, but I did make a stop in Amoeba Records in Los Angeles.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man, that was like my fuck. I was there like every week when I lived in LA, and it's since moved to a smaller location, so the film section isn't quite what it used to be, but they still have some great stuff. I picked up Can't Stand Losing You, the documentary about the band The Police, as told through Andy Summers'
Oh wow.
perspective.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm a huge Police fan.
Yeah. I like to a point I really like them.
Yeah, I'm a very big fan. And I grabbed Possessor on 4K.
Oh
I
yeah.
uh, I should have held out. I know there's like some super edition coming out soon, or had come out. I don't know, but they didn't have that, and I was like, well, fuck, I'll get this 4K. It's relatively cheap, and I'll get the box set when I eventually, have the when it comes out.
Do you have a 4K player and um monitor and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't
No,
know.
I know like the video game systems plays 4K, and I do. Yes, I have a 4K Blu-ray player, so I'm really excited to see that and the crispest quality there is. And I have a newer TV. I believe it does uh, project in 4K or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I went to a show, which I seem to be doing more of lately.
Well, that's
Like,
cool.
yeah, well, I was in Idaho visiting a friend, and the Sword was going through, and he was friends with the opening band, Rickshaw Billy's Burger Patrol.
What the
And when I,
hell?
I know, man, when I heard the name, I was like, there's just no fucking way I'm gonna like a band with a ridiculous name like that. And I gotta say, I quite enjoyed their set.
Huh.
Really good, sort of like Primus, Melvin's Meshuggah-y, which I don't know if
That
that's really.
sounds wild to me, man.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I felt. I was really impressed, and I can't remember the last time I've seen a band that I knew nothing about and was just completely like captivated by their set. I really enjoyed it.
Damn. Okay.
So I'm recommending that that band to people. Don't be fooled by the name. They're very good.
Huh. Okay.
And other than that, I just that's about it. I haven't been checking out much. I do want to say real quick, rest in peace to Brent Hines. He passed away last week, and all of us in the underground music scene either knew him or knew of him. He was a wild guy, but I knew him as a good-hearted dude. and I was very, very sad to hear of his passing. So rest in peace to Brent Hines.
Yeah, definitely, man. That was a bit of a shock, and it's a sad story for sure because it just sounds like a horrible accident.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those like just never expect something like that, just to be taken out like that. But it happens all the time, and it's really sad, but not much you can do.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so definitely rest in peace, Brent Hines.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you want to give us a call, I know it's kind of a weird segue to go into
Yeah,
this.
sorry.
Yeah. You can reach us on the Necro phone at 908-913-0782, 908-913-0782. And we got a caller this week. We've got Bill from Denver.
Hey guys, this is Bill in Denver, and yeah, enjoyed your Jaws retrospective. Um, Got me thinking about some odd movies that Michael Caine has been in, and there's a few of them, but one that came to mind was The Hand, and this one's also notable for being written and directed by Oliver Stone. I think it was his second movie. But Michael Caine plays this comic book illustrator. He illustrates, sort of a Conan style character, which you guys might appreciate. And there is, yes, a disembodied hand involved. Nice use of practical effects in this one. Yeah, as far as Michael Caine movies, I'll leave it at that. Another movie that I'd love to hear you guys cover, I don't think you've done this one, is Scanners. And this is a rewatch for me. Every year, every couple of years, I like to rewatch this one. I don't know what it is about it, the tone or just a combination of things. It's great, of course. Love the showdown at the end between, Michael Ironside and whoever that other actor is just epic. But yeah, I'd love to hear you guys talk about that one. A couple other movies that have been mentioned on this show before: Universal Soldier Regeneration and Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning. I'd like to give another plug for those, but a little bit off the beaten path for Necromaniacs. Anyway, look forward to the next show, and thank you for this, public service that you guys are performing, and hopefully people can keep up the voicemail tradition, keep that going. All right, adios.
Thanks for calling in, Bill. I'm actually going to be in Denver in 2 weeks from now for work.
Oh, okay.
So, well, hopefully I see you. Yeah.
Just show up on
Um,
his doorstep.
yeah.
Hey, you called me?
Yeah. Um,
Excellent.
but yeah, dude, The Hand, Michael
Yeah.
Caine. That's a classic, man. I really, it's when we were doing the movies with Michael Caine in it, that came up as a possibility that maybe we should talk about The Hand.
And it's been forever since I've seen that.
I would be down to watch that again. Oliver Stone, we've done a few Oliver Stone films. His character is a comic book artist, which is cool. Obviously that resonates with me. And I would be down for that, man. And Michael Caine always brings it, man. Whatever role he's playing, he's always Michael Caine. You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even in Jaws 4, like he's not just phoning it in, he's giving a performance. He's like it's obviously a paycheck for him, but he's
Yeah,
gonna he's gonna earn his paycheck.
totally, totally.
Yeah.
Um, Scanners by Cronenberg, that's a classic. Anything with Cronenberg in general, I'm usually there. And specifically Michael Ironside in Scan.
Mm.
Anything with Michael Ironside. I'm a fan of his too, man. He shows up here and there.
He's great.
Very intense guy. And
Yes.
I haven't seen the Universal Soldier films. in ages. Are you familiar with those?
Oh God. I remember watching the first one with like my first girlfriend. So I was like 15 or 16. That was quite a long time ago at this point. So no, I know there's been a whole bunch of them. Didn't you guys cover one of them?
I don't think so, man. I can't even remember how many there are. And I know it's come up a bunch of times, and maybe it's time that we get into some of those movies.
Yeah, that's Jean-Claude Van Damme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved Jean-Claude Van Damme in the 80s.
Oh, dude, Kickboxer. That's like one of the I love that movie. That's like there's been a bunch of kickboxer movies. I think I've watched all of them actually.
I actually loved Cyborg. I know it's a terrible film, but I loved it when I was young.
He made a film a few years, wow, actually it's old actually it's like more like 10 years ago called Pound of Flesh.
Hmm.
It's it's what you expect, like action, like martial arts, like tough guy stuff, but it was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pound of Flesh.
yeah. I saw a great movie that he was in where he played himself,
Hmm.
and the name I think it's called JCVD. Really good, really unexpectedly fantastic performance from him. Granted, he's playing himself, but it's he's still really good in it. I think that guy actually did have some acting chops.
Yeah, he was definitely has had some skills. My favorite out of all those guys was definitely Chuck Norris though.
Really
Yeah.
interesting, man. You're Invasion USA kind of guy.
I just think, well, all right, Bruce Lee is my guy, honestly,
Yeah,
but he's just a legend, and not only just him in movies, but just all the books and everything, and like, the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, like all that stuff. But when the fight between him and Chuck Norris, like Chuck Norris was in a film with Bruce Lee, you know what I mean? And like
yeah,
Chuck Norris, like granted, Bruce Lee was a great technician. He has never actually had a competitive, at least that I know of. Like it's not like he was in K1 or anything like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But it's clear to me that he's done a lot of sparring though, and a lot of, maybe he fought on the streets or something, who knows? But like Chuck Norris is a guy with a traceable record in combat sports, you know? And I just Chuck Norris is just such a fucking sick like martial arts actor, and when those guys fought, it was just like this cool thing, and you can tell they both have done a lot of sparring and a lot of training in their lives, and it just was like interesting to see him do that in a movie. And then, Chuck Norris, like, I think his martial art was Taekwondo, but then you saw him doing like actually like some kickboxing, and it's like, he definitely has like a like kind of like a Muay Thai like background, and he at least has done maybe like some Dutch kickboxing or some European style fighting like that. And I don't know, he's just like I don't know, Chuck Norris is a G. Jean-Claude definitely cool, but a little bit, I don't know, he's Belgian, you know what I mean?
I think I watched every single one of those action films when I was a kid. The eight,
Oh
like
yeah.
name, dude. I mean, I was about to say my guy was Michael Dudikoff, the American
Oh,
Ninja.
dude, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
love those movies.
dude, there you go. I mean, we could get, Sonny Chiba, you ever the Street Fighter, Sonny Chiba films.
Right?
You ever watch
Yeah.
those?
I'm sure I have.
Yeah,
That.
he's like a total anti-hero. Like he's a bad guy, you
Yeah.
know. And I have like there's like a trilogy of like Street Fighter movies. And yeah, so I don't know. Return of the Dragon though, the fight between Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris was like fucking classic, you know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we should do a couple of those, see how it feels to do those Universal Soldier movies.
Yeah, sure. It'd be a fun. Speaking of 80s action, did you ever see Jim Cotta?
Yeah, actually, wait, isn't Christian Bale in that movie?
No, this was like from it was an Olympic gymnastics guy, Kurt Thomas. He was the not an actor, he was a gymnastics guy. He won a gold medal or something. So they put him in an 80s action karate movie. And
I,
it is notoriously one of the worst movies ever made, but I was obsessed with it as a kid.
what movie am I thinking about that's got Christian Bale in it? That's like one of these, like, it's like a really, really old film in the beginning of his career.
Gosh, I don't know.
So I just looked up the poster for Jim Cotta. Yeah, and I have seen that, but I was confusing it with something else though.
Yeah, that would be a fun one to talk about.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
I can go on and on about those, man. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so maybe we should do like we should veer off into that world a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be fun, little side series.
Yeah. So that thanks for calling, Bill. Uh
Yeah.
sorry, we kind of like went on a tangent there, but I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I forgot we were talking about a movie today.
So right on, man. So yeah, give us a call. We look forward to hearing from you guys. That brings us to this week's feature film, Bring Her Back, released on May 28th, 2025. It's a 2025 film, uh, directed and by Danny and Michael Philippou, and written by Danny Philippou and Bill Hinsman.
Mhm.
104 minutes long. And now you guys might remember that we did not really care for Bring Her Back. You
Oh,
know,
for
sorry
talk to me.
for Talk to Me. Yeah, for
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
yeah.
Yeah, we did not care for Talk to Me. Um,
Mm.
so when I first heard these guys had a new movie coming out, I was like, so what? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you and me both.
But then I started hearing some rumblings out there, about this film. And I think I saw a trailer for it, and the trailer piqued my interest, and some of the things that I've been hearing about this film piqued my interest. So that motivated me to check it out. And not for nothing, this year, 2025, is not a very prolific year for horror films in the genre, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree. And same with me, Mike. I was not excited about this at all. We discussed Talk to Me. I feel like that movie has come up on several of our podcasts.
Yeah.
We end up talking about it. I
Yeah.
just did not understand the hype for it at all. I didn't think it was a terrible film. I just really didn't like it at all. I felt like there was really nothing there. And so when I heard, yeah, just like you, when I heard they have a new film coming on, I thought, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm sure I'll see it eventually. But you started talking about it, and then I got interested in it.
Yeah, it's the thing with Talk to Me was like I just didn't feel like it was something that was for me. I think that's how me and Mike both framed it up, that this was like, a movie for like, kids who are on TikTok who are like, 16 or something like that. You know what I mean? 'Cause-
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with that. Like it had that kind of feeling, oh, are you, 40 or over? Well, this isn't for you.
Yeah, and the Philippou brothers are very much of that world. Like they're like, YouTube types, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what they do on YouTube. I don't think are they commentators? Are they re film critics? I don't really know what they do.
I don't know. I think they just make short films because, like, up until now, I have had no interest in them. But now, after, this movie, I feel a little like I need to explore a little bit what they're doing. One of the things that came up in this crazy world we live in is it's the analog horror stuff. That's a scene that these guys are not part of.
Hmm.
But there's all these like these the guy who did Skinamarink is
Hmm.
part of that world of analog horror. And that's like a whole other thing, which is really something I'm interested in that younger people are doing. That is that, they're going back to those old analog devices, like things look like they're recorded on VHS tapes. And there's like this weird nostalgia for a time frame that these people weren't really part of, but they're going back to that. It escapes me, but there's right around the time Skinnamarink came out, I was like really interested in checking a lot of these things out. There's like all these series out there that people do that are on YouTube. There's like, they tell these stories, but they're told in this like very non-linear sort of obtuse way that Skinnamarink is told.
Right. It's almost like the visual version of a creepypasta or something.
Exactly. It's exactly what it's like. It's very much like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig it, man. We watched one of those films and talked about it for the podcast. I don't think either of us cared for it. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
God, what the hell is that? Never mind.
Yeah.
And of course, the VHS films, Mike, you and I have covered one every year for the past
Yeah.
5 years.
Well, we got another one coming out this year in a
Yeah, I know.
couple
I can't
of
wait.
weeks. Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's so the Philippou brothers are young guys, but they're not part of that analog horror world, but they're doing their own thing. And like I said, I wasn't really keen on Talk to Me, but things I think I kind of feel like these guys are have something that they're reaching for that they're getting closer to achieving. You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that because I felt the same way. Much like Talk to Me seemed specifically geared towards Gen Z. And while this new film follows teenagers, I don't think that it's targeting Gen Z as much as it is sort of broadening its horizons and can appeal to a wide range of horror fans. It's not that like, Talk to Me focuses on teenagers, therefore you have to be a teenager to enjoy it. That's not what I'm saying at all. It just the tone of it felt very like young and of a generation I don't understand. This feels a lot more universal and mature, actually. I thought the film was much more mature than than,
Yeah,
than Talk to Me.
I agree. I agree. So before we get into talking about the film, let's just run down the cast real quick. So we've got Billy Barrett as Andy. He's a 17-year-old boy who is dealing with some guilt and trauma.
Mhm.
We have Sora Wong, his sister, or I would say stepsister. She's younger and she has visual impairment. So that kind of plays into this film. Sally Hawkins as Laura. It's one of the mothers. And we've got Sally Ann Upton as Wendy. She's a social worker who's, handling the case for these two young people. What the hell's the mother's name? Sally Hawkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the mother. Okay. Um, Stephen Phillips, he's Phil, and that's Andy and Piper's dad. And he's
Very
dead.
small role.
Very, very, very small role. So yeah. Um, so the setting for this film is that you know, Andy and Piper are close. Like she's like a stepsister. Um, like as I mentioned, she's got see issues with vision, so she can't really see things too clearly. And she falls prey to the typical preteen sort of cruelties, that people have at that age. And
Yeah.
Andy kind of looks after her. So the big moment in their lives is when their father dies by accidentally, and that kind of puts them into this world, this new world, because Andy is not old enough. I think he's 17, so he isn't quite an adult, so he can't really take care of her. So they have to go into a foster care kind of
Right.
situation.
He's like a month away from being 18, I think the film said.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, also what's kind of funny in this is like this is an aside that he takes creatine and lifts weights.
Yeah. Which, actually is kind of a plot point though. Like that pays off
Yeah,
in a way. And you know, when this film started, I was like, this is moving really fast. Like they're going through a lot. You have that sort of bizarre analog opening, and then you establish, that Piper has, is basically blind, and then the father dies, and they're at the foster mother's house. That all happens rather quickly, and I thought, man, this film is just not really pausing to to kind of take in all of these things. But I think the film eventually slows down and everything we saw starts to pay off later in the movie. All those things I mentioned, like the
yeah,
analog scene, the protective brother, the dead father. Some major themes of the film come from what you see in the very beginning.
Yeah. I mean, it moves quickly and it puts them right away in the care of Laura. And coincidentally, Laura lost her daughter, Kathy, who coincidentally was also blind and died accidentally. So there's some similarities between Kathy and Piper. Kathy died by drowning in the pool in the backyard.
Yes. And I guess she's taking care of another foster child
Oh
too.
yeah, I left him out. That's
Yeah.
Jonah Ren Phillips as Oliver. That's
Mm,
or AKA Connor Bird. And that's
yes.
Laura's foster son. So right away, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like you think about, she has she's kind of off, personality wise too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's this very quiet, like disturbed looking kid that lives there. And I'm referring to Oliver. Okay. And you're like right away, it's like, okay, already a foster son there. And now there's two additional kids that, she's looking to adopt. And she's right away, like Andy is kind of on the periphery. Like he's, you can tell right away that she only really wants Piper. She doesn't really care about Andy.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
And she's like actively looking to get rid of him at some point too.
Yeah, I mean, again, I thought the film was tipping its hat so quickly. I figured out everything that was going on within those like first few like that scene with when you first meet Laura. But that's not really what the film is going for. It's not really about big reveals and things like that. I think it wants you to understand what's happening quickly. But when I first saw it, I wasn't, getting that. I was like, okay, this is her deal, this is the kid's deal, and this is going to happen. But I think that's intentional.
Yeah, and we're not going to give too much away with this film because it's still new and it hasn't really hit the streaming channels yet. So, if any of you guys haven't seen it, I urge you guys to check this out. I'm sure eventually it'll show up on, Max or Shutter or something like that, or you can just go ahead and rent it on Apple or Prime or whatever.
Other than a trailer that I saw months ago, I knew nothing about this movie.
Well, I dismissed it right away, and then I started hearing about it, and I was like, because I'd seen the trailer, and there was like some disturbing VHS footage in there from
Hmm.
a Russian VHS tape
Yeah.
of like some occult looking ritualistic stuff going on, and when I saw that in the trailer, I'm like, haha, you can't fool me, man. I didn't like Talk to Me, and this is like an attempt to drag me into this thing. Guys like people like me who like that kind of stuff. You're trying to fool me into watching this movie.
Yeah.
But it actually, after I'd heard a couple of other podcasters and YouTubers talk about this, whose opinion I valued, I was intrigued by this film. So, and here you go. I went one afternoon, I watched it, and right away, though, the tone of this whole film is completely different, though, from
Yeah.
Talk to Me.
Yeah. I mean, it opens with rather like with that kind of gnarly VHS stuff. And immediately I thought, oh, this might be something different. And that tone, that relentlessly dark, bleak tone, does not let up for the entire runtime of this movie, which really caught me off guard.
Exactly, and the tone of Talk to Me was diametrically opposite to that. Like that had like a, almost like this like party like vibe to it in some ways.
Yeah, they seemed to, yeah, like it was a little bit more like fun and relaxed. I didn't really find that movie very tense or scary or anything, but this was the exact opposite. I mean, it's a it starts with that footage and the film just gets heavier and heavier and it goes places that I didn't expect it to go. I mean, based mostly on what they had previously done would Talk to Me. I like so. like I said, I was very much caught off guard with like just what a huge step up this is from their last film in every sense, like in tone and direction and writing, everything.
Yeah. So the two kids, Piper and Andy, have a social worker because, I mean, I don't really know much about, adopting kids or anything, but I imagine
No,
there's like, some social worker places you in the care of somebody and they check up on you and you have like, like a case and stuff. And, they don't just like drop you off at some house and peace out. So it's almost like Laura is framing up Andy to be a bad guy. You know what I mean? She's like manipulating the situation. Like one night they're drinking, which I thought was like very irresponsible. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, just a little.
Yeah. And she's building a case to make it seem like Andy is like unhinged and abusive so that she can get him ejected from the household.
Yeah, I mean, like she is the manipulate. She's the biggest gaslighter I've seen in a film all all year, and like the audience knows what this woman's about, but Andy doesn't, and Andy's frustration starts to build, like yours starts to build along with it. Yeah, like I said, the movie doesn't try to hide what Laura is or what she's up to. Like it's showing you right away.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's so there's a lot of stuff like that going on in this film, and you see that she's getting more and more attached to Piper. There's intercuts of that sketchy Russian VHS tape showing this ritual that's going on with some bizarre like a cult group,
Right.
and you can't quite see what's going on, but you just know it's gnarly.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And Oliver is going off the deep end more and more. He's, on doing these like violent sort of self-harm activities, like chewing on a knife and stuff like that. It's like it's pretty uncomfortable, like some of the stuff that he does.
Right. And Oliver is mute too, we
Yeah,
should
Oliver's
mention.
also mute. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I think like you knew right away what was going on with Oliver. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think the movie's really trying to make it like a big reveal. You know where that's going to go. And I gotta say, were you following all the occult stuff and how the rules of all that? I found it,
No, I wasn't
okay.
actually. But you know what though? I have to say that's how am I going to put this? It's like apparently there's a video of all that stuff like edited together, and there is like some kind of like rhyme or reason to it. There's like missing footage or whatever. Like that's it's like
Okay.
that exists out there on YouTube, I believe. Someone told me about this. But I kind of dug the fact that there is some kind of occult ritual going on. You just don't know what's actually what the technique, the technical end of it is. You know what I mean? Like you don't know really what they're doing. You just know that
Right.
there's some shit going on. There's a video of it, and it's supposed to be this like feel of inevitability, like someone's going to end up being ritualized or something. You know what I mean? Like something's going to happen with one of these kids, most likely Piper, and or Oliver, that's going to be connected to what's going on in the video.
And that is some of my favorite stuff. Like, this is almost somewhat of a folk horror movie. Like, it kind of
Yeah.
has some things in common with the greatest horror film of all time, The Wicker Man
Yep.
and Kill List, where it's like an idea I find really scary. Like, that you're playing a big part in something and you have no idea.
I was thinking about Kill List too, actually, because you don't really, even in Kill List, you don't really understand all the rules and regulations of what's going on with the group. Like,
Right, yeah, it's sort of intentionally vague. Yeah.
yeah, it's intentionally very great. Well put, Jeff.
Hmm.
It's intentionally vague, and that's what this videotape is. And even what the actual rituals are, it's all left kind of just like you kind of see it in the half light, it's not spelled out for you. And I like that too.
I think it was a smart move for the film to do that actually, and you can sort of focus on the deeper meaning of everything that's going on. I thought that was I think some people have sort of criticized it for being like, difficult to follow in
Oh,
regards to
Jesus. Yeah.
but I was okay with it this time around. Maybe in a different film I wouldn't be okay with it, but the
Yeah.
technicality of all the occult stuff wasn't the focus of the movie.
And I got to say, that's the Philippou brothers. I feel like that was like a real accomplishment. That's what made me really like the movie is that, in the first movie, everything was kind of just like, here we are, this is what's going on. There's like a hand and, whatever. This one is like you get glimpses into what's going on. Your mind has to connect the dots more.
Mhm.
And it's not necessarily about like you said, it's not about what, like, what's going on. I'm just going to spoil it right now. You know that Laura is trying to quote unquote bring back
Mhm.
her deceased daughter using Piper as this vessel, so
Right.
that's happening, but it's not even about that. So by me saying that, it's not, I don't even think it ruins the film because the film is really more about just the atmosphere and the bleakness of the whole thing and like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Totally, totally agree. You know what's interesting, and I can't be the first person to point this out. It's very similar to Weapons in a strange way.
Yeah, it is. I mean, with the kids, and sort of the ending, we won't talk about the ending, but like, yeah, the ending, uh, you know, there's a lot of similarities. There's the old witch, from Weapons, and in this case we got Laura, who's, I wouldn't say she's an old witch, but she's a woman who is desperately going down into that monkey's paw realm to bring her daughter back, and she makes a lot of errors and embraces like this dark energy to do so, and that's like, you know it's kind of
Yeah,
like that whole like dark magic trip where if you can't expect good things to happen when you use dark magic, black magic.
right. And I think I got the idea that she was really new to all this stuff and
Yeah,
wasn't quite 100% sure. Whereas in Weapons, the character feels a lot more assured and knows what they're doing. I think this it feels a little bit more like haphazard, and I think their motivations are both selfish reasons, but I think Laura in this
yeah,
film is a little bit more sympathetic.
yeah. Well, like what we talked about in Weapons, that character is like, my take on it is she's like this ancient creature almost. She's been around for a long time, and she's like
Oh,
an adept at black magic. And that's why her body's like so gnarly because that stuff. If you're into that world, it manifests and deteriorates you, and it's like this. You have to continue to do dark things to stay enriched by it. So that's but in this case, Laura is like we were saying, like she's some lady who just stumbled upon dark magic and out of desperation. And it's like that story that monkey's paw story, where it's like that movie Death Dream, and even
yeah.
like even Pet Cemetery, that kind of thing where it's like you lose someone that you're close to and your whole life gets up turned upside down, and you have a choice. Like there's like you can stay in this dark world, which Laura did, and she searched for darkness and found this thing that would answer all of her dreams. You know what I mean? Or like you can turn yourself and pull yourself out of that well that you're in and live your life and come to grips with your grief. But in the case of Laura, her grief like consumed her, and she just went deeper and deeper into this darkness and then found this group that is doing this resurrection magic, like this
Mm.
almost like necromancy in some ways. And then what comes back. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's the age old story, man. What comes back is not what you are hoping is going to come back, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And, I know people say that grief, using horror as a metaphor for grief, is such a played out trope. And I guess in some cases, sure. But if it's done right, it can work. It can pay off in a big way,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And I really think that this movie is in that sort of sphere, I would say. It's not perfect. There are some problems, but it's so close to being like one of those like, wow, that was great kind of movies.
I think so too, man. And like I was saying earlier on in the episode that this I feel like the Philippou brothers have something they're trying to say, and this is like a very, very good approach to that, you know, where Talk to Me didn't work for me, you know, but this one did, you know, and I really now I'm a fan. Now I look forward to what they do next.
Yeah, I mean, I think Talk to Me Too is
Oh,
is
well,
next for
maybe.
them,
All right. Okay. All
unfortunately.
right. Well, you
But
know what?
hey,
Maybe that'll be cool. I don't know. You know, you never know.
yeah, maybe. And not for not, I think the acting in this film was better. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I think the teenagers have been in stuff. I believe like Andy was in some Marvel movie or something. Um, but Laura, the mom, I forget this actress's name, gives a really incredible, what I thought was an incredible performance because, Laura has to be so many different things to different people. Like she's wearing all these different faces. There's like her public face that her friends knows, and you kind of get to see the real her with the kids at home, and she has to be grieving. She has to hide it. There's a lot going on with that character, and I thought she did a really great job in creating this believable person
Yeah.
from the script. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I think a lot of like what really works about the movie. I think if you cast someone like an actor not as strong, maybe the movie doesn't work. Like you really have to sort of feel sympathy for her while also kind of hating her.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And she's complex. You know, she's a complicated character because you know the same way that you know in like Death Dream or you know or Pet Cemetery or something like that, you empathize with you know the characters in there, and then they make that one fatal decision that just spins them out into this you know abyss, really, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and she's made several decisions.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, but yeah, the character was interesting. I was really kind of you know definitely bought into the whole thing.
Absolutely. Now, I don't want to give everything away, but I have to say the movie faltered a little bit for me in the third act.
Okay,
Not enough to completely derail it, but there were some things that it was going along so well, and there was just a few things. One that surprised me, and two that like I just feel like there were some emotional moments that were a little unearned regarding Laura's character. She
okay.
makes it she makes a decision late in the movie that feels like just out of nowhere and unearned, and I didn't think that's something the character would do. Um, it was a pretty big moment. I don't want to say it was a nitpick. It was sort of like, that's kind of a bummer, but things like that. There are some themes that are quite heavy throughout the movie that I feel don't quite pay off. And that's okay to some degree, but I was very curious. Like in my head, it was going sort of a different direction with some of those things, and I was a little disappointed it didn't pay off. But maybe on a second viewing, it'll come together just a little bit better for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, this is only these guys' second film, and I think these dudes are like, you know, pretty early in their career. So, you know, to turn in something like this, I think is really an accomplishment.
Yeah, I think these guys are like really like 25 or something. Like they're young guys, and not for nothing. It Talk to Me like was a well-made film. Again, I didn't like it, but it was technically competent in some ways. But is such an improvement even on that. Like there's a great balance of tone. There's these themes going throughout the movie. It was really like a huge step up, I thought.
All right, so I just looked it up. All right, so let's see. They're twins.
Hmm,
And they're older than I thought, dude.
really?
They're 32.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. I thought they were like 19.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess Talk to Me was a few years ago, and yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, I guess that makes sense. Like it's weird. People stay the same age in my head.
Yeah. So they their channel is called Raka Raka. And apparently that's
Oh,
yeah, that started in like 2013. So they've been at it for a minute.
right. Okay, okay. That I still haven't seen their stuff, but I know Raka Raka. It definitely sounds familiar. I'm sure if I was 15, 16 years old, I would be know way more about it.
Yeah, it seems like the kind of like gamer like world kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Or I don't really I never checked out any of their other videos, but yeah, so they're they're young, but not as young as I thought they were.
Yeah, no, same. And I mean, YouTube is something I barely have a grasp on. Like uh, people just making millions and millions of dollars with creating quote unquote content.
Yeah,
I don't understand. It's like TikTok. I don't understand it. I don't want to.
yeah, totally, dude. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what would you give this movie as a rating, or as a grade rather?
I gotta say, like, I had a hard time engaging with this movie when I was watching it. Like, I put it on at like 11:30,
Oh,
and I
right.
get up at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I found myself thinking about it a lot throughout the day and liking. I never disliked it, but I found myself thinking about it more and more, and it's sort of consuming my thoughts. I'm very curious to watch it again, but right now I'm gonna go with 4.
Right on, man. Yeah, I liked it a little bit more. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. And I watched it like in the afternoon, like on a Saturday, and I was like, damn, this movie is like heavy and like had such a the ending, though the ending isn't as bleak, it's still pretty bleak though, the movie.
It's it's funny you say that because I felt the same way. I'm like, this is by no means a happy ending, but it doesn't go as dark as it could have gone. And
Yeah,
I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. You don't always have
yeah,
to go the darkest way possible.
exactly. So that's I was happy that it didn't go to the worst possible outcome. You know what I mean? Honestly. And because that's the thing too. It's like you kind of like the characters too. You don't want bad things to happen to them, you know?
Right. No, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And
Um,
some of them bad things happen. So,
yeah, yeah, some bad things happen. And not also had to mention this looked like practical effects, like
yeah.
with the gore and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, I know one scene in particular, I don't know how they did it. They must have just used some sort of digital trickery, but like you never for a second stop to think, oh, that's not real. Like you're not taken out of the movie at all. I was very impressed with how they handled like the gorier stuff.
Yeah, no, totally. It was yeah, so highly recommended, man. And we're getting into the later months of the year, and I got to be honest, this is probably going to be on my top 6 somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna, like just out of a lack of great movies, this is a sort of yeah, this is definitely a top 6 for now. Uh There's still some coming out that I'm really, really excited to see. I haven't seen Together yet. You got The Long Walk coming out next week, which is probably one of my favorite Stephen King stories. I read it. I think actually, you know what? I read it when I first moved to Boston.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
uh,
that's a Bachman story, right?
yes, yeah, yeah, it is. But it's so obviously Stephen King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, totally.
um, I've been wanting to see an adaptation of that for a long, long time, and I'm glad it's finally here. I really hope it's good because I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, they've been talking about making that movie for a long time, so I'm happy.
Long time, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm stoked that it's coming out.
I think Frank Darabont was attached to that for a long time.
That would have been killer, actually. But we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because
Um,
he's always good with the Stephen King films.
He's done Stephen King justice, absolutely.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, you're right. This is a top six as of now. I mean, I still think at the end of the year, like if it's not in the top six, it will be like an honorable mention.
yeah,
But even in like a very good year, this movie stands out as being, a cut above. Like um it's showing a lot of promise for these two filmmakers, I think, and I hope they continue to go down this direction.
absolutely. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. And yeah, we're the clock's ticking, man. It's
Yeah.
we're in September already, so it's the year is coming to a close. So, and we're definitely entering my favorite time of year. So that's exciting.
Yeah, and guys, keep calling. We love to hear from you guys. We love these recommendations. The thing, I mean, I haven't thought about the film The Hand in I don't know,
Yeah,
30
dude.
years or something. Like,
Yeah. But yeah, maybe we should do that one too, man. Actually,
yeah,
you
right
know
on.
what? You know what's another one, man? And it's like this is definitely going to be on my October watch list, but the early 2000s remake of Salem's Lot with Rob Lowe, Rutger Hauer, and Donald Sutherland, man. That's like an unsung gem.
I've never seen, I didn't even know that existed until last year's remake came out, and it was so bad. Like that, like people are like, wait, there's even another version of it. Like Rob Lowe, what? What? I didn't know anything about it.
It's worth seeing. Like I'm not saying it's a 5 out of 5, but it's I mean nothing tops the original.
Yeah, the
But
original's great.
there's enough different stuff in there. I mean, it's not a strict retelling of the story, which I think is cool.
Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna seek that out. Mike, there was a movie you were talking about, The Other
Oh man.
or something
Yeah.
like I
Yeah,
have that, and
dude.
I meant to break it out last October. I
Yeah.
didn't, so this October it's coming. I'm gonna watch that.
We should talk about it because that movie still that movie makes me uncomfortable.
The stuff that scares you as a child stays with you for life. I've just come to accept that.
And it's like I when I was a young kid, I saw that it was like an afternoon movie. It was something I watched
Yeah.
like in broad daylight, and it was like it was so disturbing to me.
That's the shit that fucks me up more. The stuff I watched during the day.
Yeah.
And then your parents like go outside and play, and you have this bleak heaviness following you
Yeah.
around.
Oh, totally, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
All right, man. So thanks a lot, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Take care, everyone.